Stefan, welcome back. Um, this episode is special. We've talked about sustainability, we've talked about design. And one of the third pillars at GROHE is technology. So let me start with how is GROHE using technology to redefine bathroom and kitchen experiences?
So in terms of technology, we should see the product technologies clearly at the core. For example, GROHE has touchless solutions. We have different water-saving technologies we discussed in previous episode. But I think it's also the innovation around services. I think that is also very important. How do we create the service environment for our customers around the product? So this is also something where we really focusing on. We also look how can we use artificial intelligence to design products. How do we use to during usage, and of course also during service time. So we have, for example, here in UAE and Saudi, we have our service centers. So we clearly, for example, measure with newest technology how fast do we respond to customer calls. So I think, I said, one part is of course the product technology that we have, but on the other hand, I think a big part in the future is also how do we service our customers.
AI is already embedded at GROHE.
It is coming. We have launched an internal, at LIXIL Internal AI initiative, and that is actually on the rollout, yes.
Speaking of smart technologies like the Sensia Pro, tell me more about it.
Sensia Pro is, I would say, as you said, it's almost a gadget. It's basically a shower toilet, automatically opens the toilet. So it is this classical Japanese toilet. As LIXIL, as our Japanese mother company, is one of the globally leading companies in terms of smart toilet, shower toilets. So we use that strongly for the GROHE brand to actually expand in that. I think GROHE is still known mainly for the faucet here as a market leader in the region, in Saudi, in UAE, across the GCC and also beyond Northwest Africa. I think the whole experience that we can give the client with our shower toilets, our touchless faucets, and also there are some interesting technologies that will come in the future. So watch that spot.
You mentioned smart toilets, and we're seeing more and more venues, properties adapting these. Do you see an uptake in this product or this experience in the region, in the GCC region and the MENA region?
I think the cleaning with water here in this region is evident. It is there. So we can see that from our figures of the products that we're selling. But the shower toilet clearly brings a different quality to that. What also is an important trend that we can see is hospitality. So hotels, where the contractor and also the hotel operators simply want to have shower toilets. That is often not even driven locally. So hospitality, we see an increasing growth in terms of shower toilet demand.
Interesting, because that highlights the importance of data that drives strategy and product lines, I would assume.
Yes, correct. So we really are observing the data, the feedback. As said, selling the product is one point, but how do we now get the feedback at the touch points from the customer? And as I said, that's where our service centers basically come in, where we can really record and use data to further improve.
This is a tough one now. How do you balance the three pillars that we've talked about? The design, the innovation / technology, and sustainability. How can you make sure that no compromise is happening when we're addressing all three?
To your question there, it is, we have the right products like the heat recovery, we have EcoJoy, we have all these different products. And I think all these pillars, be it for the interior designer, architect who specifies our product or the end user use it, gives a peace of mind. I think a peace of mind to know, hey, once you have GROHE LIXIL installed, you basically have a peace of mind. You know it functions, You get a service in case something should be wrong, seldomly. You know there is a quality product. You have the latest technology. You have this technology sustainable. So I think with this summarizes, this peace of mind idea summarizes quite well how all these three pillars basically come together.
Very little compromise, I would assume.
With very little compromise. So as we discussed also before, the shower experience you can have while being sustainable in water usage is there. So we actually have all the good solutions ready.
If we were to look at our region, the GCC specifically, what are there any specific innovations that are targeting this region?
So we tried always to leverage what we can as a global company. But I think also what we're really trying to do is localize not just the product, but also the supply chain. So we're one of the first companies who manufacture concealed systems in Saudi, for example, with our partner Samil. International brand, we're the first one. And I think that shows that we're trying to adjust not just our product, but our whole supply and operational chain towards this growing and exciting region here. If we see the growth trajectory that we can see for also with the Vision 2030 in Saudi, for example, as clearly one of the biggest drivers, we really invest in this region, not just with products that we import, but really with products local assembled. So made in Saudi, that will be a big thing also in the future. And not just in Saudi, also then to export into other IMEA countries.
From Saudi or from within the region. How does GROHE make advanced technology user-friendly and accessible?
So accessibility has to do a lot with availability. So for us, that is one part. We must have the right distribution partners here in the region. So LIXIL has hundreds and thousands of partners for our products. Availability means also educating these partners with our products, but it also means that we have to have a competitive cost position, because availability here in the region with, let's say, a growing middle class, younger people. If you look, for example, in Saudi, I think the figure is like 70% are younger than 35.
Yeah.
So these are all aspirational clients. So we know we have to catch them early. So they have the first good experience with GROHE, and then hopefully while they build their families, while they build their bigger homes, they come back also to enjoy more of the more luxury products of GROHE that we have. So that is our clear plan. And as I said, the installed base that we have, that is really where we see our responsibility also as the market leader here in the region.
Speaking of the population as it grows, for the next decade, next 10 years, what type of technologies do you anticipate or expect to see in the region?
We're still in the sanitary ware industry, and that is still building industry. If you compare this industry to fast-moving consumer goods, we're very slow. Fair enough. Which makes it, for some people, boring. I think it's very exciting because there's huge potential in there to fasten that. So we have to understand life cycles of our products can be 6, 7, 10 years for a concealed piece. We have concealed systems there for 50 years in the wall. They're still working perfectly.
The peace of mind.
The peace of mind. There we go with the peace of mind. We see over the next decade, a lot of it will be the same. Let's say toilet bowl will be a toilet bowl, a faucet will be a faucet, but there will be a lot of incremental innovation that we can adjust there. Second is, of course, we see the further growth. And then what we also see is the conversion of new technologies. So, for example, at GROHE we launched in certain parts of the world already the foam shower. It's a Japanese technology that brings together showering with the technology of creating foam with cosmetic and moisturizer. So we see this conversion of different technologies into one. So that will be really the exciting part.
And I'm assuming, just like any other GROHE LIXIL product, these will be global products and will come to our region as well.
This will be in the region soon.
Stefan, just an overarching question about how consumers in the GCC markets are adapting or accepting changes, technology, design, sustainability. Would love to hear more about your plans.
So we see this region here clearly as the growth region with all the investments, with the young aspirational. So there are clearly these trends that we see here. So we also see still the trends of going from exposed to concealed. So going behind the wall. So this is still a big trend here in the region, be it in toilets, be it in showers. We also see it now more in the wall outlet faucets. I think these are a bit the longer waves that take longer. The big advantage here is there's a lot of new build in this region, so we can implement these new technologies way faster.
Much better than, refitting or...
Refitting is always takes a bit longer. You have to open the wall. So when you really new build and work with the interior designer, with the architects, with the planners to really bring these new technologies on. So this is a bit the long-term wave. Shorter term, but we see that our industry also becomes a bit more trendy. So you don't just want to have a chrome faucet, you want to have a color faucet. So you want to have a different surface. You may say, well, want to have different materials.
Which goes back to personalization, right? It's one of the key pillars that you have.
Yes. So that is also this customization. Personalization is something that we now really working on with color surfaces and materials. Together with our design and R&D department. So there is really this demand, and the demand is always different. Here in the region, for example, the color gold is still a big market, where, for example, in other regions that is less the case.
Stefan, as always, it is a pleasure having you here at our podcast at Inca Arabia. Always insightful, always ahead of the curve. I look forward to more and more of these sessions. Thank you.
Anas, thank you. Pleasure was always mine.